The first launch, awesome. The top hat, great ejector airtime. The next airtime hill, great ejector airtime. Going into the trim brakes, great ejector airtime. But it is rough, oh god damn. You probably haven't heard anything about this roller coaster anywhere, but I'm gonna give you a reason to watch this video right now. Bang. Lynet, which is lightning in English, is a very intense and very rare roller coaster located at a remote park in Denmark called Fårup, Sommerland, in Danish of course. The ride is actually pronounced Lynet in Danish, but mostly every other person calls it Lynet, but that sounds like a girl's name from 1956 in my opinion. In this video I'm gonna tell you why Lynet is such an underrated ride that packs a huge punch, because this roller coaster is actually much more intense than the newly Phoenix, which was a highly anticipated roller coaster made by Vekoma and of course a new gen model. What makes Lynet stand out as a great ride is its intense launch from 0 to 80 km per hour, that's approximately 50 miles per hour, and the ride layout has a great mix of airtime, intense inversions and lateral forces, so that's awesome. But we have something that really irritates the whole ride layout, and that is the comfort. God damn, the comfort isn't great, I'm gonna tell you that. And let me tell you a cool fact about this ride. Lynet is actually the prototype launch 6-seater roller coaster made by Gerstlauer. Wow, did you really know that? Let me know in the comments. Now I'm gonna tell you about what you experience when you're riding Lynet. I'm gonna talk about the theming and then give a ground up built layout description, you know, in-depth analysis, super duper detailed. Lynet is actually themed to an old and scary looking boathouse where the lightning actually strikes down, and it's pretty creepy looking. But that's it, there isn't any more theming. When you go through the queue line, you can't see anything but barrels and ropes and so on, and it's very hot in there, I can tell you that. Now let us talk about the 6-seater trains. They are very rare, but I think there's a reason for it being rare. It isn't as comfy as you think. That is the typical gerstlauer over the restrained shoulder, and it really feels like you sit arching with your back. But I'm also very tall, so that's probably why it is uncomfy. Now I'm gonna give you a whole detailed layout, in-depth description of what you feel when you ride this roller coaster. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes sir. First of all, you go down a small dip that leaves the station, and then you hit the punchy launch that takes you from 0 to 80 kilometers per hour, and that is 50 miles per hour. But that doesn't sound like much, but it's the only thing we have in Denmark. It is quite intense because of the fast acceleration, so I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for this launch. And then you go up this little top hat element that only stands 65 feet, and that is 20 meters, but you take it with such an intense speed that it gives ejector airtime throughout the whole train. After the first top hat element, you reach an insane airtime hill that gives ejector airtime, and it is just awesome. The start of this ride is a 10 out of 10 right here. As you go up the hill and into the first set of trim brakes, you get ejector airtime yet again. And this was the first part of the ride that is mainly airtime focused. Now the second part of the ride is inversion focused, and now you go down a twisted drop to the right, and oh boy, now this goes downhill from there. The ride experience is very janky and very rough as you hit the bottom of this drop, and then you go into a floaty inversion, but it is destroyed because of the roughness, god damn it. And then the ride goes into a small overbank turn that twists to the left, and then it goes into another corkscrew inversion, and this feels a little bit better because it is taken at a slow pace and you can feel the hang time on the train. After the hang time fill inversion / half janky inversion, you go into another set of trim brakes, and as you go up into these trim brakes, you get ejector airtime yet again. After the first part of the ride, you're quite amazed because of the airtime, and after the second part of the ride, you feel like your head is going to blow up because of the janky and roughness of this ride. But now we've reached the last trim brakes of this ride, and now we go into the third part of this ride layout. The ride stays low to the ground, where it firstly twists to the right, it doesn't do anything, but then you twist to the left and you can feel the laterals, and after you've twisted to the left, you go a little bit further to the left and then to the right, and you can feel the laterals hit your body like damn, goddamn. In my opinion, I would actually say that the last part of this ride, the half low to the ground, half boring section, is actually better than the inversion because they are not janky and rough. And then we of course hit the brakes and go into this scary / creepy looking house, where we'll end the 540 meter layout / 1800 foot layout, fleet layout, foot, do you say foot or feet? Let me know in the comments, I don't know man. Now we've discussed the whole layout experience and how it feels to ride this roller coaster, and now we're gonna go into the final part where I'm gonna sum up the overall experience and what I'll I'll rate it from 1 to 10. As I've said earlier, of course, the launch is great and the airtime moments such as the top hat is awesome and the second airtime hill is awesome, and then you go into the trim brakes, you get awesome ejector airtime. It almost feels uncomfortable. So overall, the pros of this ride are the pacing and the airtime moments. But what destroys this experience is the over-the-shoulder restraints that destroys my shoulders and digs my shoulders 6 feet deep. And there's also a lot of janky transitions where your head will bang to the left and right, and it's not comfortable, unfortunately. The roughness is mostly experienced in the second part of the ride, where you meet these intense inversions, but they are destroyed because of the janky trains and restraints, unfortunately. And that's exactly why I'm gonna give Lynet, and also called the Lightning, a 7 out of 10 score. Lynet overall has an awesome layout that is unfortunately destroyed by the roughness of the trains, but the ride is actually still more intense than the newly opened Phoenix at fårup Sommerland, so that is a plus for some thrill seekers. Just imagine the potential this roller coaster has if it offered a ride experience with lap bars. Holy moly, that would be great, man. But that was it for my review. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Have you ridden Lynet Lightning? Have you been to fårup Sommerland? And what do you think of my review? Is it good? Is it great? You want it longer? I don't know, man. Let me know in the comments. And until next time, bye bye.